Welcome back to Combat Ready HQ. Today we're going to be talking about something that's been building for years. Something that is tearing through every Western nation right now. Division. Division in our streets, our politics, our schools, our homes. And most dangerously, they're trying to put division in our minds. Western civilization. Everything we've built, fought for and defended is now under threat. And the three pillars that once held it together, Christianity, patriotism and tradition, are being attacked, dismantled and mocked. This isn't about fear-mongering, it's about reality. Because if we don't talk about it now, we'll wake up one day and realise it's already gone. So in this brief, we'll be breaking it down into three sections. How division has become the West's greatest weapon against itself. How Western civilization is under siege from both the outside and from within. And how Christianity, patriotism and tradition are being torn apart piece by piece. Stay in, stay alert and remember, this isn't doom or gloom. This is call to awareness, to unity and to strength. Let's get into it. Let's start with the obvious. Society is more divided now than at any time in living memory. Everywhere you look, it's left versus right, rich versus poor, city versus countryside, nationalism versus globalism. We've become tribes, shouting across digital trenches. There used to be a sort of team, a unit, a cohesive force that looked out for each other. Now half the section has just turned its rifles on the other half, and the enemy doesn't even know what it's shouting about or who they're even shooting. But here's the truth, division doesn't just happen, it's engineered. Algorithms feed us outrage, media amplifies fear, and politicians are using division as fuel. The more we fight each other, the less we hold them accountable. And the result, we've lost our shared story. Once upon a time we knew who we were. Now we're told everything we stood for is outdated, offensive or irrelevant. The West has become the first civilization in history that doesn't know why it exists. When I served in the British Army, cohesion wasn't optional, it was survival. One man breaks the ranks and you compromise the operation. And right now we're breaking rank everywhere. Division weakens a nation faster than any war ever could. Because when a country is fighting itself, the enemy doesn't have to. And that is exactly what is happening in the West today. But that's just one part of the story. Let's move to the next theatre, the bigger one. The war for Western civilization itself. Let's define it first. What is Western civilization? It's not about geography or skin colour. It's about values, freedom, responsibility, faith, law, duty, the belief that every person is born with an inherent worth. Those principles built the world we live in, and most of them came from one place, Judeo-Christian foundation that shaped Europe, America and the Commonwealth. But the civilization is cracking. Externally, we face threats from rising authoritarian powers, China, Russia, Iran, who look at our confusion and see opportunity. They see the West is doubting itself, apologising for its own history, and losing the courage to stand up for its own ideas. They don't fear us anymore, they study us. They exploit our weakness, our obsession with internal chaos. But the greater threat is internal, because we are dismantling our own civilization from within. We've turned on our own values. Faith is mocked. Patriotism is shamed. Tradition is erased. We're told masculinity is toxic. Family is outdated. And a belief in your nation makes you dangerous. You remove faith, you remove morality. You remove patriotism, you remove duty. You remove tradition, you remove belonging. And when all that's gone, what's left? A population with no roots, no identity, and no courage to defend itself. That's how a civilization falls. Not with gunfire, but with silence. Look around, protests across Europe, riots in America, disunity everywhere. And through it all, no shared compass, no shared voice, no leadership. That's the reality of the modern West. A civilization with technology in its hands, but emptiness in its soul. And it's not accidental, it's decay. The Romans said, a nation that forgets its God forgets itself. We've done exactly that. Let's take a quick tactical pause. If you believe in standing up for our values, for our hard work, for discipline, then support the mission. Grab yourself a bag of Combat Ready HQ coffee. Roasted here in Britain, built for those who rise early and fight their own battles, whether it's our covert ops blend or the original Combat Ready. This coffee, made by a veteran, for those who refuse to quit. Head to combatreadyhq.co.uk, grab a bag and join the movement, because every brew fuels the fight and it keeps the mission going. Now let's get back into it. Now let's go even deeper, because if you want to destroy civilization, you go for its foundation, and that's exactly what's happening. First, Christianity. For centuries, Christianity gave the West its moral compass. For those who weren't religious, still lived by Christian-derived values. Forgiveness, discipline, courage, compassion, truth. But look at today, those values are mocked. Churches are empty. Faith is treated like a flaw. We live in a culture that celebrates every ideology, except the one that built the modern world. We've replaced faith with self-worship. They pray now to algorithms, influencers and trends. When the civilization rejects the spiritual, it falls into the material and loses its soul. Second, patriotism. There was a time when raising your flag was an act of pride. Now it's treated like an act of aggression. You can burn the flag and be called brave, but salute it and you're called dangerous. But real patriotism isn't hate, it's love. Love of community, of responsibility, of service. It's gratitude for freedoms others died for to defend. In the military, patriotism isn't a buzzword. It's the reason men and women step forward. It's why soldiers bleed, why families wait, why sacrifice still matters. When we lose that, we lose our spine. Third, tradition. Tradition is what connects us to who we are. It's the bridge between our ancestors and our future. Family dinners, national ceremonies, Christmas, Remembrance Sunday, they all mean something. They remind us that we are part of something bigger. But every year we're told to change them, dilute them, apologise for them. We're told our history is shameful, our culture outdated, our holidays exclusionary. Yet these traditions are the glue that hold us together. When I served, tradition mattered. From the regimental march to the beret you wore, every act connected you to those who came before, gave you pride, belonging and purpose. Without that, society is lost. And right now we're watching that loss unfold. We've built a generation connected to Wi-Fi, but disconnected from meaning. And that's the biggest crisis of all. We've covered the three main fronts today. 1. Division is tearing the West apart from within. 2. Western civilization is under attack, externally by rivals, internally by apathy. 3. Christianity, patriotism and tradition, the backbone of who we are being dismantled. But here's the thing, it's not over. This isn't the end of the West. It's the wake-up call. Because everything that's broken can be rebuilt, but it starts with us. Start small. Reconnect with faith, with family, with purpose. Show pride in your country. Teach your children why Remembrance Day matters. Tell them why standing for the flag isn't hate, it's honour. Bring back tradition, the meals, the manners, the discipline. And most importantly, don't be silent, because silence is surrender. The West is dying because of our enemies, but it's also dying because too many good people stop defending it. Not with violence, not with hate, but with truth, conviction and courage. So hold the line, stay disciplined, stay vigilant, and remember that faith, patriotism and tradition are not relics of the past. They are the anchors of the future. The West can survive if we decide it's worth saving. Never be beaten, not physically, not mentally, not morally. If this hits home, then drop a comment below. Tell me what tradition, what value, or what belief you are standing up for this week. Grab your brew and get ready, because we are just getting started. Until next time, see you soon.